Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, which I don't think has really been on. I think Bravo's taken a little hiatus, or I've just been busy. And of course, Jeff Lewis Live. And of course, it is Friday. So at the very end, we will have our advice dilemma segment. If you have a question, get comfortable in comments or email it to me for me to read another time at AskSarahFromTexas@gmail.com. Hello, Michelle. She's #1 with liking the podcast on YouTube today. Thank you so much. I hope you had an amazing holiday, whether you traveled, whether you stayed at home. It was busy, it was slow, it was relaxing, it was happy, it was sad, all the emotions, because as we know, the holidays don't just make everything 1,000% better, right? We all have issues that either happen. I know some Chumpets have had some sad news lately, and we've all been praying for them. So we know that the holidays just exasperates all of that. So I, of course, can relate to that with having lost my mom and dad already. So anyways, I'm so glad we have each other. I've had all 5 of my kids home, so it's been extra busy, and I love chatting with y'all every day, but it's a lot of preparation to do this particular podcast. So I couldn't just show up and do it for an hour with y'all, right? I got to listen to the shows, watch the stuff, take the notes, all the things. So anyways, I'm caught up on all the Jeff Lewis, except for, I even listened to today, just finished, because I did a little shopping with a friend, and went to, I don't think I've watched yesterday, which should be up on video, but it wasn't. I don't know why not. Somebody said in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group that they called or checked with SiriusXM that it'll be up Monday. So anyways, definitely, Michelle says prayers to all the first responders who work during the holidays, especially anyone. I know I worked in television right out of college, and television is 24/7. So any job, especially first responders that are, missing their holidays and going to maybe sad occasions during the holidays to help other people out, whether it's EMS, police, firefighters, nurses, hospitals, emergency cares, emergency centers, all those things. So definitely prayers for them. My dad personally worked at a 24/7, obviously, my brain chemical plant. So, we were used to him, but that's not necessarily dangerous. First responders are putting themselves in danger, and they're also putting themselves in very emotional situations. So definitely prayers and our thanks to them for all they do year round, especially. Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. Southern Belle says, I'm behind on all the housewives shows. I think our enthusiasm is a little bit waning with all the self-produced of it all. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling. I don't know. Jeff Lewis, I feel like bumped it up a notch this week with the Dr. Donna hotel drama, the Chump Virus drama. Traveling always puts me in an excited mood because I just like when they travel. But anyways, it had gotten a little bit, predictable, if you will. So yeah, Michael Riley says, I'm all caught up, but I'm not really that interested. I sometimes watch shows because I can't imagine missing something and something good happen. Like I have to finish something to the end. So if I start season 1, episode 1 of something, if it goes on for 4 seasons, I want to watch it, unless I just decide that it's absolutely not good at all. So we will definitely talk about it. Southern Belle says, what is hotel drama? Have you listened to Monday's show? Because he's talked about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was Christmas Day. Thursday I haven't listened to, but he talked about it again today. Dr. Donna, the Godfrey Hotel, Anyways, I've certainly got my thoughts, and it may not be, popular, but anyways, I don't strive to be popular. I strive to give my opinion and listen to y'all's opinions about everything. And I love that we're able to do it respectfully and just kind of say, hey, this is because sometimes y'all change my mind and give me a different perspective, or you tell me something that changes what I think about something. So, yeah, see, because I'm reading some thoughts from Michael Riley that seem very different than mine. So, I love that we can respectfully have our own opinions. Okay, let us know where you're from. If you are new, let us know if you're first time commenting. Give us a thumbs up if you had a great holiday so far. It's not over. We still have New Year's. We still have Hanukkah. We still have lots of other holidays. And give me a thumbs down if you didn't necessarily have a great holiday. Okay, I watched a bunch of movies, a couple of Christmas movies. Not always my favorite. One was actually decent. I don't know the name. Something on Netflix with Lindsay Lohan, which doesn't really narrow it down, right? I watched It Ends With Us last night. Really good. Like, I'm shocked. It's not I mean, it takes a lot for me to spend 2 hours. You know what I mean? It was really good, kind of a romance, but there's lots of behind the scenes drama going on with the two stars, Blake Lively and Justin, whatever his name is, who was the director. She was an executive producer and star. He's a director and star. There's like sexual harassment tales going on. Her saying that him and his team were trying to like slam her or whatever it's called, like, ruin her reputation, basically. She's freaking married to Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it's kind of a big star to go up against. Also watched a lot of true crime. My husband, I think it was an accident. He was watching football and all of a sudden it was on channel 251 on DirecTV, and it was all this crime, like true crime, like Dateline. And I was like, wait, what? And I mean, we ended up staying up, my daughter and I staying until like 1 a.m. So my husband had to go to work the next day. I was recording all these shows. So my recording is going to be filled up with all this true crime, but there's one we can't wait to watch on. I think it comes on tomorrow. Accident, suicide, or murder. And today she goes, yeah, we better not watch one. It'd be an accident. I go, I know, right? So anyways, yeah, we're definitely going to chat about this. Christina says, I was amazed at how quick the chumps flipped on Dr. Donna. Do you mean chump listeners, or have any Jeff Lewis chumps, like his inner circle friends, chimed in at all that maybe I've missed? So anyways, oh, I love that. So Southern Belle says, my plans didn't work out, so I had Waffle House on Christmas Day, but I'm still grateful. I mean, hope you had a good syrup, right? Along with we did. And we didn't like it. Christina said, did anyone watch the halftime show on Christmas? First of all, we were kind of half-assed watching the game. I had heard that Beyonce was going to be on. Obviously, we're in Houston. We're a suburb of Houston. So NRG Stadium, the Houston Texans were on. Then we kind of remembered that it was on Netflix. So my husband turned on Netflix. And then, we're kind of half watching, whatever. He's kind of more of a Dallas Cowboys fan, if anything. But baseball is really a sport, not really football. And I said, oh, yeah, it's almost the halftime. It's Beyonce. So it starts with Mariah Carey, which was weird. I mean, like atop an office building. I don't know. Was it real snow, fake snow? That was whatever. And then like all these people with Beyonce, all in white. Was she singing? Was she not? Was it pre-taped? Was it live? I mean, I don't know. We just kind of lost. It didn't blow me away. I saw very much mixed reviews on it for sure. Thank you, Anne. She's number 22. Yvonne Gell says it's illegal to live in Houston like the Cowboys. I know. But anyways, we also watched this Mr. Beast, the guy that's like huge on YouTube. The guy's like only like 26 years old. Some Netflix show that I guess is like Squid Games, which I've never watched. I know season 2 just started. And we were watching like this competition. And so the show that we watched, they don't let you binge it. So I guess it'll come out next week. And I was like, when everyone's sitting around, maybe we don't have this because we don't have a huge family that lives in Houston. So I host Christmas Eve and my brother's family comes over and we do traditional things. My sister-in-law, who I love, always does a super fun game. So she did the saran wrap game for our kids, all the 7 cousins, which was so fun. She knocked it out of the park. Like, she always gets the best stuff. We go shopping together, but she also comes up with really fun stuff on her own. Then I take care of our traditional Olive Garden dinner. So we pick that catering up. Then I make desserts. She makes pumpkin bread that my kids love. We have kind of that. So then Christmas morning is just kind of just us. It's just our family that's, opening our presents now that my mom and my sister-in-law's dad has passed away. So, anyway, so kind of quiet on that front. I really lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh my gosh. Oh, she watched Christmas Vacation. We watched a little bit of the traditional movies. It's a Great Life or whatever that one's called. I don't think at all TBS was on, which was the movie The Christmas Story. I don't think that was on at all. So I love that. Michael Riley says he was at his sister's house and she had 12 for dinner. The niece came in from Boston. Ariana Bierman posted a video. Kim Zolciak Bierman's daughter, one of her older daughters, posted a video. I guess her and her boyfriend, her and fiance. One of them has a boyfriend, one has a fiance. Maybe they're both. I don't know. Anyways, it looked like the empty house. And I'm like, well, how did she get in? Like, I thought it would have locks on it or something. I thought the bank owned it now. Like, I don't even know what that meant. Did someone else buy it? Did they have time to get out? Remember, they moved out like 1 or 2 days before Thanksgiving. Remember, the police got called. But there was like empty rooms. And then there was definitely a couch left there. So I don't know. Yvonne Gal says that video was so sad. Yeah, because I mean, even in the last few months, we've seen that her bedroom that was on Tardy for the Party and Real Housewives of Atlanta, the one that had the striped bedroom, either paint or wallpaper that matched the bedding, that room was still decorated like that. And I'm like, oh, it's her childhood room. So it's not their house anymore, right? So let's get into anything y'all want to chat about. It's gonna kind of be an open whatever, because we do need to chat Monday's show, Tuesday's show, anything y'all want to tell me about yesterday's, because I haven't watched it yet. We definitely need to talk about Mondays, the Dr. Donna, who he's known since Flipping Out. She was on Flipping Out. She did therapy also for him and Chef Stu. I think on Flipping Out, she did therapy with Gage and Jeff, right? I can't remember. And then on Tuesday's show, he talks about there's a chump that he really likes that he's never been disrespected by, but at least 7 chumps now have come and said this person is self-centered. Today he used the word him finally. So he's narrowed down the gender. He gave us some more information that I'll tell you about in a minute. With MJ the other day, he talked about Megan because she brought it up, saying, hey, I think y'all should be friends again. She's definitely mentioned this to Kelly Dodd, that they want to be friends again. And for the first time, I felt like Jeff really said respectfully, there is no going back. There's no hope for me and Megan being friends again. I think he also said this about Krista. But more importantly, he pretty much said, I just don't want it to end badly. There's no hard feelings. Like, Krista knew that I was going to be in an event, the same party. So she texted me and said, hey, I'm going to be at this same party. We're going to run into each other. So they did. Obviously, a bunch of y'all sent me the picture of either Christmas or Christmas Eve. Who was it? Megan, Chef Stu, Brandy, Julie. It looked like Ben was in the picture. Definitely Megan. Was it her 2 kids also? Her son and daughter? Anyway, so that was interesting. We know that Heather McDonald, I'm blocked by her, but somebody sent me another reel or 2 where she was talking about the podcast war again, and like, 3 texts. Sounds familiar. 3 people were trying to bring me down. And I'm like, anyway, so I definitely want to hear your thoughts. After today, I don't want to believe it because I've met Justin Martindale a couple of times. I've never seen him be snotty. I've never seen him be rude. I've never gotten that vibe from him. As a human, as a nobody, he personally brought up Annie to me as a recommendation when I was saying, hey, this is like a year, just over a year ago, about 15 months ago. I was saying, hey, who does your podcast reels? They're really good. He was like, oh, I think he did them himself, but he was like, you need someone like Annie, like Heather McDonald had. So from there, I reached out to her thinking she would have someone in Texas to recommend for me. Instead, she said, hey, I've been thinking about doing my own business. Why don't you be my first client? She came up with a couple of different proposals. I picked one. We had a contract, blah, blah, blah. We worked together for a few months until financially it just didn't make sense because I've explained all that. It just didn't make sense financially. I wasn't making money on the reels she was making, but I loved them. But also he, on his own, like looked up these podcast studios for me in the Houston area. I never knew there were podcasts. I mean, he really tried to help me. But after today, and like I said, I've met him in person too. I've been at Schmitty's with him, hanging out. I've been at the holiday Christmas party hanging out. I mean, I don't see him as snotty. I don't see his fiance, Evan, as snotty. Aggressive, I think Jeff used the word, disrespectful. The only thing I wonder about, especially if it's 7 people complaining, I'm like, who would that be? But when he narrowed it down today and said him, so I think some of y'all were wondering if it was MJ, he said him finally today. And then he definitely talked about SiriusXM executives having this, a floating rule of sorts, basically saying, if you are a guest or have your own radio show, so then everyone went to John Hill, no way it's John Hill, like just no way. Jeff would bring that up to Andy Cohen, I feel like. But anyways, Justin Martindale is the only one that we can think of, unless you think of someone else, let me know, that has been on another Radio Andy show, which is John Hill's show. John Hill has also been on his podcast. All of that is fine, but we know how Jeff can be when it gets to people being on other podcasts, guests, kind of stealing co-host, how that's always played out. So I'm assuming Jeff would want that ran by him if, since John Hill is a guest on Jeff Lewis Live and Justin Martindale's a guest on there. Who was saying that though? Was Rick and Kelly saying it? Jet says on Rick and Kelly today, everyone was saying it's Jamie Kennedy. So I forget that y'all told me they go live now on YouTube every Friday. So I forget that there's like live comments like we have, so people can whatever. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's Jamie Kennedy, especially since he hired his girlfriend, Alyssa, to be a part-time, So a lot of people are like, I love Justin. I never liked Justin. That's clearly just how it works with famous people or whatever you want to call them, chumps. Some people love them, some people don't love them. So that's just whatever. But I don't know. I've literally, is Justin, he's a comedian. He's a podcaster. He lives in LA. I just don't see him as even catty, but I definitely don't see him as, Jeff used the words rude and aggressive and disrespectful. I mean, and then he kind of said something like, because he has had that conversation where Justin has kind of been self-aware and said, look, I'm not in my career as much as I wanted to be. And Jeff has kind of said that. He was months ago, Justin was very open about that. And I feel like Jeff was bringing that up again today, saying, oh, when I realize someone's really talented, but they're not as successful as I think they should be, then I work with them. And then I realize, oh, this is why you're not so successful, because of your personality or how you treat other people. I don't think it could be Pej, because I don't even see Pej as a main one anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know. Tiffany Chump says, and he said it in the segment that he's glad that he's been able to get so much closer to Jamie. So it's definitely not him. Yeah, I don't feel it is. Oh, I did forget about the big tour. And Jeff was so happy for him. I feel like this has just come up very recently. Like, I almost wonder if something happened at Sarah Colonna's Christmas party. Like, I haven't noticed any tension except, little jabby jabs between Justin and maybe Joey. Michael Riley says Justin has a great big tour that's just been announced. Sounds like jealousy to me. But would other people be complaining because they're jealous of? I mean, I think all the chumps have something huge going on, right? They all have careers. That's kind of why they're on. I don't know. Tiffany Chump says, yeah, that's part of the problem. Is the issue is that Jeff doesn't have the problem. Everyone else does. Yeah, Jeff's like, I have a great relationship with him. I think he's great for the show. He's never been disrespectful to me. But I do agree with what Jeff first said about this on, I think, the Tuesday Christmas Eve show, was he was saying this person is really good for the show, but I need him to be, now he's saying him, I need this person to be a team player and be good to everyone. And I feel like, and I think we all felt like that's kind of what happened with Krista. When Krista was dragging, was it MJ about what was Krista? Krista was dragging Joey when people were saying that Joey was talking bad about someone, and Joey kind of admitted it. He was kind of saying some stuff he shouldn't have said at a table at a restaurant loud. Somebody put it on Reddit. Somebody maybe talked to him in the bathroom. And, he didn't really deny everything, but Jeff was like, hey, you got to be careful what you say. People recognize your voice. They recognize you. They might tell the truth. They might embellish a little bit, and then the story was that Jeff sort of put out was that Krista texted or something that said, oh, kind of, you got to be careful with that guy. I believe the stories or something. So Jeff didn't like that Krista was seemingly happy that one of the chumps had kind of gotten, their ass handed to them instead of being just zipping it, for one thing. You know what I mean? Oh, Michael Riley says, how many people on here like Justin and how many don't? Some people like him very much. What? Jet says, I hope it's Justin because he's super crusty dusty to me. Not a fan of him. Oh my gosh. Yes, Southern Belle sells and but I just feel like they do so many group things as chumps that why would you, unless you just can't take someone at all, at most it's an hour of working with someone. Like, it's not like it's every day. Fake it till you make it. But Southern Belle Cell says shitty that folks take out their crap on our Southern kindness. It's ridiculous. You talking about Justin being Southern? I don't know. Anyway, so Patty's just not on a lot. And I first of all, today he said he, and I think Justin's boyfriend proposed to him in Hawaii. Anyways, Ada says, why couldn't it be Patty? I just don't think she's even a regular. You know what I mean? I have no idea. Oh, wait. See, I wasn't at ChumpCon or Chumpmas. Sorry. Tiffany Chump was, and several of y'all were. Tiffany Chump says, I don't have a problem with Justin. I think he can be funny. Because remember, he did about, 10 to 15 minutes set there? I didn't think his set was that great, except for the Kelly Dodd jokes at Chumpmas. So what are these 7 people? Oh, the ring was presented on their winter vacation, but didn't he propose in Hawaii? Justin proposed to his boyfriend this week. Maybe they both proposed. I don't know. I cannot keep up with them. Anyways, okay. So just to me, the main thing that he said, so we know it's narrowed down to a he, 7 people, but Doug is so good. If you see Doug on the show from Tuesday, he was like, ooh, I want to know who these 7 chumps are. I'm like, Doug, I feel like Doug is always in the middle of the gossip. Like he knows everything, but he's just may not ever say it. So I think he absolutely knows some or all of these 7 chumps that have said something. I think they probably have a text chain going on. Yeah, but I don't think it's Joey. I mean, first of all, a caller called in and Jeff said it's definitely not Joey. Everyone likes Joey. Yvonne Gal says, I can absolutely believe Joey turned others against Justin. He strikes me as super petty. I definitely like Joey also. I do think Joey, I do think Joey was flirtish with Jeff on a number of occasions before he and his husband Brian broke up. I do feel like Joey definitely sees an advantage of being friends and professional with Jeff Lewis. Did that come across well? So I don't think he would, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mama Judy says Doug knows everything. I feel like that too, for sure. Oh, okay. Thank you. Manny says they proposed to each other. So Evan proposed to him in Hawaii, and now Justin proposed to him. So they proposed to each other. The LGBTQ community, it's common. Thank you for letting me know that. I thought it was, but I was just making sure. Oh, Candace says Heather's going to jump on this story. Okay. So I was a little bit behind when y'all were DMing me, and I'm behind on my DM, so forgive me. I love reading them and replying to y'all. I'm just a little bit behind with the holidays and family. And I went and shopped for my Christmas tree even more. And 50% off. Yeah. But one of the first ones I read was that it's got to be Joey or Justin. And I'm like, wait, what? I hadn't heard the part about SiriusXM. That's the part that gets me. I can't, unless you can remind me of someone, I can't think of another chump that is specifically on another Radio XM, Radio Andy or Sirius XM show besides Justin Martindale. But don't forget, Justin Martindale was the beginning. Like it wasn't Earring Gate. It was Justin Martindale and Heather McDonald that were having this non-public feud that we were all seeing and y'all were letting me in on behind the Patreon walls of what she was liking, what she was deleting, what she was letting posted to her Heather Juicy Scoop Facebook group. Jet said Kelly Dodd said today that Heather McDonald told her the reason women have no rights in divorce in California is because of gay marriage laws. I have no idea what that means. The reason women have no idea. I definitely don't think it's Tom Arnold. I can't imagine. Like, oh my God, he's so whatever. Okay, Mama Judy says we need a craft tex haul. Ada, I will show you my tree. Only spent what was my amount today? $242. So double that was the retail price. Anyways, okay, Justin and Joey have a bad relationship for whatever reason, and I think that's where the trouble's coming from, sadly. I love Justin, and Joey is an immature troublemaker. I don't even know that they have a bad relationship. I just didn't think they had a relationship. I just thought they kind of avoided each other. You know what I mean? But okay, Christina says, why would Jeff mention the Smith sisters? I think he was just trying to give an example. I think if he said specifically the John Hill show, that would have definitely narrowed it down to Justin, because Justin and John Hill have been on each other's. I don't listen to the Justin Hill Just Saying podcast. I would if I had time, but I've definitely seen the reels. He's definitely had John Hill on, and John Hill has had Justin on his show. But to me, I don't know. If John Hill has the show, he's the employee of Sirius XM. He needs to know and respect the rules. If one of his co-hosts has also been on another Radio Andy or Sirius XM show within the last week or two, if that's kind of a general rule that they don't want it to be. I think he is more in control of that. Now, Because I think Jeff said he hasn't even talked about it. That's another thing. You OG Chumpets know what personal experience I have last January, or this year, January 2024. So when Jeff is mentioning all this multiple times, and then he says today, I haven't yet had a conversation with the person. So he hasn't even had a conversation with, if it's Justin. And yet he's saying all this on the radio, which means I would assume Justin is blindsided and not even able to give any defense. And maybe it is just, I can't imagine it's 7, but I'm just saying I've had facts said about me that were absolutely false. So, by Jeff Lewis. So, and people hear that. So I don't know if it's 7. Is it 7? Is Jeff wrong? Is it 3? I don't know. We do know, I mean, it has to be John Hill, as far, unless y'all can think of another chump that's been on a radio show that's on Sirius XM. Or I mean, all I can think is like, no, not Justin, Jeff Lewis. Yes, Candace says Kelly, because she's had the recent feud with John Hill. Kelly Dodd would have said if it was John Hill, if it was. John has 2 shows on radio, Andy. It's not John. Yeah, he's the co-host of Andy Cohen Live, and then he has his own show, the John Hill Show. I'm sure. No, for the record, Justin has said nothing about me. No, not Justin. Anyways, but I think he said today that he's self-centered, aggressive, disrespectful, rude. I just don't see that from Justin, but I don't know. Okay, the Dr. Donna of it all, and then we'll get into today's show specifically. But like I said, we can chat about anything y'all want to. I do think Bravo is on a bit of a hiatus. I think they're coming back like first or second weekend of January. So Dr. Donna lives in Palmdale, wherever that is. Whatever it is, it's really far away and there's traffic. So she always is put up in a hotel, I think, by Jeff, even before he had this ad deal with the Godfrey Hotel that he really doesn't talk about much. But Jeff never likes to admit a deal unless he has to. Anyways, but he has said he has a rate arrangement with the Godfrey to, this thing. Basically, like in the old days, hotel accommodations provided by on a talk show. So Dr. Donna, in private, mentions to Jeff off air that, hey, I think this is how she said it, hey, the hotel you're putting people up in may not be up to standards. It's small, doesn't have a closet. I'm not sure anything else. And, I don't know what you're paying for that, but have you seen the room? Like, I just want to make sure I'm looking out for you and want to make sure people aren't like being put up in this hotel by you. And then they're going to talk about you behind their back. She basically gave the example of she sent a family member some flowers one time from 1-800-Flowers, where you don't exactly, or back in the old days, you didn't exactly pick out the flower arrangement. You just had like, I want to spend $100. I want to spend $300. I want to spend $40, what have you. And then they get the flowers. Well, if they're crappy, they don't know that you said to spend $200 and the arrangement looks like a $60 arrangement. So nobody is going to be rude enough unless they really respect you and whatever and say, hey, thank you for these flowers, but just so you know, I don't know what you spent on them, but they look whatever. That would be very hurtful. It would be rude. It could be considered not grateful. All the things. Most of us are just going to be polite and go, oh my God, the flowers were beautiful. Thank you so much. But you're telling your cousin, oh my God, is Dr. Donna mad at me because she sent me the cheapest looking piece of shit roses and I don't even know why she even sent this to me. They weren't worth $10. And then the cousin is thinking Dr. Donna's mad at this family member, all the things. So that's the example she gave, was she was having Jeff's back and she did not want other people that don't feel as honest going against Jeff Lewis and saying, hey, this hotel you put me in is really shitty. It's in a, MJ said it's not in a great part of town. Basically, Jeff said, I've never looked at the rooms, but he basically called her a liar today. He said, when the call called in, he said, yes, she did call me and apologize, and I respect that. She admitted whatever, but I do think she wasn't honest in the reason she told me about the room. And I think he said something about she didn't think he was honest with saying that she had his back, and that's the reason he was telling him. A caller called in and said when Joey said, oh, you were just protecting him, and then she ran with that storyline. So I don't know. Southern Bell Cells says Dr. Donna isn't wrong. I have met Dr. Donna. I've eaten, food with her at the season 1 premiere party. Seems very nice. I don't feel like I feel like she's caught up in like she's well aware of the Jeff Lewis influence. She's well aware of what it does for her to be on that show, his show, to be involved in the Chump world. But I don't feel like it means enough to her to sell herself out to whatever. Even on a commercial break, she said something like, I mean, I could tell her feelings were hurt, especially with MJ brought up that her adult son, Jonathan, passed away last year and she's still grieving. I mean, he's still got kids and she's still a grieving mom. And she was like, oh yeah, give me 30 seconds. I can cry at any moment because I'm so emotional. And she said something like, oh, well, if nothing else, this hotel gave you an hour or two of content, now let's move on. So basically she kind of knows the deal, like, well, at least I gave you something to chat about, right? And I think he was definitely took it as if she was complaining and not grateful for the hotel. I don't think that's how she meant it. I know other people don't agree with that, but I just honestly, first of all, she's not drama. She doesn't come on and be like, oh, let me, whatever. She'd said it to him off the air. He brought it on air because he knows it's good for ratings, right? Rob says, I feel bad for Dr. Donna. I think Jeff overreacted. I do too, but I feel like Jeff knows exactly what he's doing, and it got people talking and not arguing, but having a respectful conversation over, was Dr. Donna right? Did she really come at it from this good place? Did she not? Did Jeff overreact? Is Jeff right that people do try to use him and take advantage of him? But also he brought up, hey, I also bring you in for 2 hours and pay you $1,000. Okay, but don't bring that up. That's what you do. She might come in and work for an hour and then do some other business or fun stuff in LA. I don't know. But it's like he brings it up of like, see, I don't know. Tiffany Chump, it hurt. It's just like when he argues with, Krista, when he argues with Megan, when he's argued with Shane, when he's been rude to Doug, when he's been rude to Jameson, when he's been rude to Alyssa, when he's been rude to Stu. We all get emotions for people, and whether we like them or love them or kind of whatever, we still don't want someone humiliated on air. And I felt like she was absolutely humiliated, and her herself, her being questioned, especially when he said today, no, I don't think she was telling the truth, which is basically saying, I think she's a liar. She apologized, but I think she was lying. And I'm like, oh my God, just, but he didn't reach out to her and say, hey, let's fix this. He waited till she did. And that seems why he's okay with it, is because she reached out and apologized and took 100% accountability, not that she brought it up. Tiffany Chump says, Jeff was completely wrong to blast her like that on air. He doesn't realize the power of his platform. I absolutely think he does. I will tell you that. And how damaging it can be to some people. I just feel like, and it's not even her age. It's not that she's a grandma. It's not that she's lost an adult child. It's, I don't feel sorry. Matter of fact, I wasn't even listening or watching as her as a grieving mom during the commercial break when MJ brought that up. Because remember, MJ went to his memorial service. Jeff did, MJ did. And when she brought that up and basically said, oh, I'm sure you're upset about Jonathan, I was like, oh my God, on top of all this is the holidays. And, and I wasn't even feeling sorry for her of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So Tiffany Chump and anyone else who was at the latest Chumpmas, was there anything said or done, a facial expression, anything to give any insight about the Joey and Justin, maybe friendship or lack thereof, or anything? Don't give us anything that you shouldn't say, but I guess Jeff wants everything kept at the show, but he knows that doesn't happen because, I've already been told things were put on Reddit already, and I don't even know how to read Reddit. Nurse M says, I read that Zach doesn't like Justin. I know Joey doesn't like Justin and didn't come to Chumpmas last minute, right? Yeah. Didn't Joey say he had like I don't know. I feel like he would have loved to come to Chumpmas. I do wonder if it's because Justin was, given like this 15-minute headliner thing. Did Joey have a job or anything at all? I feel like maybe Joey's feelings were hurt that he wasn't the question person, because he's done that, I think, once or twice. He and Monica were in the audience doing the questions, and now this time it was Kelly Dodd. But, like Jeff said, he recognizes that a lot of the same Chump fans come to the Chumpmas or the live events. He's like, I just want them to, if they're going to fly and travel and get a hotel and all this, I want them to see some different Chumps. Maybe we'll sell out faster. Maybe people are, so there's people that weren't involved that still came. Like, right? Didn't Doug still come? Jameson still came, so I don't know. It's curious. I kind of wondered how Dr. Donna did as being a therapist with this all. She kept saying, and if you watch the video, you can see her, and she is basically saying, no, it's good for all this. Her theme of Monday's show was kind of about like being truthful before there's issues. I forget what she was saying. Somebody remind me what she was saying. Basically, like, let's be truthful before there's an issue with someone. In other words, be polite, like you can say, oh, is that dress pretty? Yes, that dress is pretty, even if you don't like it. She meant like, when you're getting into relationships, like if you don't like someone's cologne, you can say politely, hey, I don't know what it is about that cologne, but let's try this one. And that's just a small problem. You know what I mean? Wait, what did she lie? Tell me, Eliza. Dr. Dawn ended up lying when she was pushed by Jeff. I didn't like that. Remind me what she said that you thought was a lie, because I don't remember that. Candace says, Jeff came off of a high of a great weekend with Ty and annoyed that was the first thing Donna said to him. He was over it. Yes. And then he said the gratitude jar, just really, because he was like, look, I don't see you as being grateful, and now you've got this gratitude jar. And he was basically saying, you know what I mean? Oh, Manny says, I'm having a hard time justifying listening to Jeff Lewis because I stopped Heather McDonald with the way she treated Justin. Yeah, it was awkward for sure. Candace says she still didn't help herself with the weird excuse of helping Jeff. But I do. But did you understand her example of giving the fresh flowers to somebody and then they were really cheap? They weren't that great. And then she told a cousin, oh, these flowers are really cheap. But they told Dr. Donna, oh, these flowers are beautiful. I feel like Jeff Lewis definitely has standards. And if the hotel's not in a great area of town, like MJ said, and if the rooms are very small and have no closet and maybe aren't to the I think she was also saying, have you seen it? Like, if you saw that and approved it and or you're getting a great, if it's $100 a night, whatever, then great. But if you're paying a lot and this is what you're getting, I think people are going to be like, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Joey canceled last minute. Okay. But did they ever say why, Tiffany Chump? Okay. Nut Fam says, I noticed that Zach didn't interact with Justin. I don't see Justin and Zach as being friends. You know what I mean? Not everyone has to be friends. So I don't see that they didn't interact. Also don't know that they've really hung out. You know what I mean? Oh, that I think he did say it was a date. You're kind of right. I think that's right. Eliza said if you watch the video, she initially heavily implied that she herself had a problem with the room. Yeah, she definitely said something about the bed being right in front of the TV, and then there was a curtain, and then there was no window behind it. It was kind of this fake curtain. So Monica says Jeff is always messy. Seems his friends always have an expiration date. I wonder if Shane and Doug are always waiting for the shoe to drop and looking over their shoulders. It's a steep price. Yikes. Doug, but Doug just, I know, I just feel like Doug and Shane don't ruffle his feathers intentionally. You know what I mean? Yes, yes, Tiffany. And this is what Jeff does, which is great. But he, it's like it's all intertwined, the personal and the business. He promotes the CBD gummies to sleep because it's his friend Tamara Judge. Also, I'm sure he gets a cut of that when they sell at Jeff 20 or whatever, Jeff 30, code Jeff. Chaz Dean. It's like all these things. Tiffany Chump says Cynthia Bailey was advertising that same hotel for everyone because she has some sort of contract with them also. And that's why she stays there for weeks on end. Nothing to do with Jeff and his his now deal with the Godfrey Hotel. Yeah, but you hear even when he's talking about planning Chumpmas, ChumpCon, sorry, in April, possibly in Las Vegas. You've had other I think Jade Catapreto was like, hey, I've got to deal with a great whatever. I think he's probably, I have no idea. I assume he's maybe probably working with Adrienne Maloof because Adrienne Maloof is very good friends with Paul and Patrick. Paul and Patrick are on every Friday. He promotes, the coffee readings, see how the personal and the professional all intermingled, which is not a bad thing. But I do think some of those people are not going to say things because of that. Dr. Donna has one of the longest personal and professional relationships with Jeff. She told him in private off the radio. I don't know if she said don't bring it up, but maybe she didn't think he would bring it up. I think she thought it was like a big fat nothing sandwich and just something for her to mention to him. And then clearly it became a 2-hour long thing. You know what I mean? So Jet says, oh yeah, I agree that Monica and Shane's days are numbered. Monica hasn't been on in a while. She hasn't been on regularly in a while. I don't know what's up with that. Are numbered just like all of his assistants. It's only a matter of time. Then no cameo, no private jets, no fan social, $1,000 dinners for Shane. I mean, Shane's personality and his contacts and his hard work and reputation, I think will help him. I think he'll be just fine. Yes, LTD. Dr. Donna's thing was now to be truthful, quicker, and faster. In other words, 90 Day Fiance, if you don't want kids, if you don't want to move to the other country, don't wait a year or 5 years to tell the partner that and then be like, oh crap, how do I tell them they need to convert to Muslim? No, you need to say that big stuff quicker and faster. That's honesty. You know what I mean? But he says it's a new hotel. I don't even know that I've seen it. Michael Riley says, has anyone stayed at the Godfrey Hotel that can confirm? I mean, the SLS is beautiful. A lot of us had stayed at SLS and had so much fun. I don't know why he wouldn't do a deal with SLS, but I could tell you the SLS was an asswipe when I was trying to get a group rate for everyone. So, and then their price went down. This is all last January. I was trying to get a group price, which didn't benefit me. It benefited everyone else buying a ticket to my live event. But anyways, I was trying to get a group price. It wasn't that low. And then the price online went up. And I was like, oh my God, what are you charging? Like, this is not what we just paid a few weeks ago in December. And now in January, which should be a much cheaper rate, January 20th versus days before Christmas in West Hollywood. And the rate went up like 150, 200 bucks a night. And I was like, what are y'all doing? And they were such dickheads. But anyways, yeah, wonder. It's just, I mean, oh my gosh, my brain with Justin went to, yeah, Tiffany Chump says, love the SLS. We made so many memories there between Chumpmas 2023 and my live event in January. And I can't imagine a world where Justin and Heather McDonald now go, oh, also Justin, I don't know that they're really good friends. I don't know, but Justin and Annie are good friends. So it's just awkward when like people like Doug and Megan, I feel like were really good friends. Like, I don't think they went to dinner once a week or anything, but it's just awkward when they're not allowed to be friends with them anymore. Ronald, it's Stacy that gets on. Stacy has stayed there. Did you stay? They probably put her up there with the merch. So, and I'm not calling anything out, right, Stacy, because your name is attached to, it's on the website, the Jeff Lewis merch. Okay, but you didn't say anything about it, Stacy. She just says I've stayed there. Anyways, yeah. Heather's going to gloat about this. It's by the Bourbon Room. Okay. I don't know where I stayed when we went to that Bourbon Room show. I don't remember. Probably stayed at the SLS, right? I just can't even remember. Yeah, the SLS is where we stayed. Anyways, who do you think it is, Stacy? It's new and classy, has a beautiful rooftop lounge. Yeah, but that's not what she's saying people might complain about. It's the actual room, right? Okay, let's get into today's show. Jeff, Shane, Todd, Carrie, Tom, Claudia, Brogan, Monroe, Quinn, Pepper, who else? His stylist, Julie. I don't think they're together. I wonder why a nanny? Okay, again. Okay. Unpopular opinion. I didn't love when Pepper came on the mic today. I thought it made her sound it worried me. So before she came on mic, the first hour, we knew that they were at a podcast studio and Pepper was not with Claudia, who she knows really well. She was with Claudia stayed with Quinn and Monroe. And Sarah, was that her name? Sarah, whoever the owner worker at the podcast studio, was in the green room with Pepper. My thought is Pepper doesn't know her at all. Pepper has a very, what we've heard on the radio, very specific personality and quirks and decisions and fast decisions and actions. And I don't know why she would be left with someone who has never met her, someone that has, literally made scary decisions and, that she could have gotten hurt from, lost, what have you. So I didn't love that at all. So when at the second hour, when she came on the mic, I was like, why is Brandy is the name of the person. Brandy was the podcast employee. It made me very uncomfortable. She sounded even younger and more immature and less capable of making a good decision than the age that she is. Now, we've never been told anything in specific about her from Todd and Carrie or Jeff, and I don't need any of her medical information, but it was alarming. Yeah, didn't love it. Didn't love it at all. Okay, so they're in Lake Tahoe. I don't know. Am I wrong, or did Jeff have a private plane? But I don't think like Quinn and Pepper and Todd and Carrie flew on that private plane. Is that because they got messed up with the times? Like, I don't even know what happened. Tea with Tambo says, isn't Pepper the one that runs off all the time and they wait for her to come back? Yeah, she gets lost. She even said today they asked her about Hawaii and she was like, I got lost. I was scared. A police officer had to get me. It is super stressful to pack so soon after Christmas with kids because, the house is always, the toys are open, the wrappers are trying to get the trash out, the recycling out. They've got stuff they love. It's snow vacation, so they live in LA area, trying to pack, the gloves, the boots, the everything. I could not understand though why they ended up flying separately, why they weren't on the thing. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Anita. Is anyone else surprised? So whoever called in, caller Anita, freaked out Tom Lewis on the weather, so they flew to a different airport. But why did Carrie and them, did they have to take a different plane that held less people? Is that why Todd and them's family couldn't come? I couldn't, I've zoned out on that. Is anyone else shocked? These are only the callers that called in and got on the radio and admitted it. Like 2 callers called in and said, I spent all day yesterday watching the planes and figuring out where you flew. And then I watched the camera at the airport. I'm like, wait, what? Somebody's already said they were like at every casino last night trying to find them. Jeff admitted the name of the resort. A few weeks ago, they weren't saying the resort. And then he mentioned it like 10 times. So he definitely is okay with people booking a room there and finding him. And they were definitely saying where they're going today with Monroe and, restaurants they're going to eat at and all that kind of thing. So he's okay with people showing up, but I was shocked that these people are so invested in him flying there. Like, no, a pilot isn't going to make a bad decision. It's their life on the line too. So I don't know. Oh, Mike O'Reilly says, I don't think the whole family should fly together in one plane, private or commercial. Yeah, right. LTD, if you only knew, and the lovers say you're a stalker. What the fuck, weirdos? Yeah, I'm like, you know what I mean? Good for us. We've got almost over 200 people. I'm so happy. Obviously, if you love chatting all the things, and we're gonna go over today. Geez Louise. Okay, we're gonna go over because I also have the dilemma and stuff on Fridays. Okay, real quick, what else we want to chat about? Fans were really invested. I don't know. I just felt like Pepper would do better with a main person. Like they probably, Todd and Carrie both work full time. I'm assuming they have talked about leaving Pepper home alone when they went to a soccer game or a tournament or practice or something. I don't know. Obviously that's their decision, but anyways, I feel like she would do better and I would feel more comfortable as a parent, if I were her Pepper's parent, having somebody that knows her and knows what they do. You know what I mean? No, but people trust me, Manny. I haven't read my DMs, but people will absolutely book his resort and try to find him and go to the restaurants. Trust me. They DM me and tell me. Manny says, people are following him around. Where'd you hear that? Today's show? No, but on the Today Show, 2 callers called in and got through saying that they listened to the pilots and watched the cameras to see that he got there okay, that they were like tracking it all day. So definitely want to find out who this Chump Virus is. Had no idea. I don't know if Jeff is like doing a survey, like an open-ended question, I just cannot even imagine if this comes full circle and I cannot even imagine if he and Heather McDonald become friendly again. Wow. I just, no idea. Well, that Southern Belle. So in summer of 2022, when I decided to change my Instagram name to something Jeff Lewis, I messaged Jeff Lewis out of respect and said, hey, because at the time he always talked about, I haven't had a stalker in so long. I need another stalker. I need another stalker. I said, can I name my Instagram Jeff Lewis Stalker? He said, yes, I love it. Do it. Well, that clearly didn't go over with fans. They didn't get my sense of humor, or they clearly don't know Jeff's anyways. And then I changed it to Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Anyways, so pay attention to Heather McDonald's reel in the next week. Whoa. Yeah, we'll have to see who that ends up being. Okay, so on Fridays, we are starting to do like a dilemma, advice, at Sarah from, ask Sarah from Texas at gmail.com. Let me see if I have any brand new ones from the last hour. Update. No. Okay, so let me take these ones that I took a picture of the email. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 that I picked. I'm not even sure this is real. I will say it, but I wonder if it's like a joke. I don't know. Podcasting advice. Hello, I'm a longtime listener. You've inspired me to want to start a Jeff Lewis podcast, but the fans intimidate me. Do you have any advice to share for anyone thinking of jumping into the game? Thanks, Sarah Lauren. So I don't think normally somebody would ask someone that talks about Jeff Lewis about doing a Jeff Lewis podcast. I don't know what they meant. If it's a joke, I have no idea. Clearly, I have lots of advice I would love to give on starting a podcast. No matter what it's about, you have to understand, especially if it's someone like Jeff Lewis that has very loyal, very, let's just say, vibrant fans, chump listeners, that you are going to get a lot of negativity from the get-go. I can definitely attest to that. But in general, about starting a podcast, I would just say I can give you all the technical and stuff all I've learned and taught myself over the last year and a half, 2 years. But just do something you love chatting about, something you feel so excited about. You can't do a podcast because you think you're going to be famous or popular or make money, whatever. So just do it on some subject that you absolutely love and find your niche. You know what I mean? Ooh, Kelly doesn't want them to be friends. Kelly doesn't want who to be friends? Okay, I'm reading these out of order. I just saved them as they came. I need ideas for holiday traditions. I see friends post on Facebook and I feel like our family doesn't have traditions. Our kids are 17 and 8, so they've never been super close, but I want to make traditions before he goes off to college. Susan in Idaho. This one got me because 17 and 8, I have very different experiences with my 5 kids being much closer in age. What is that? Is that 9 years? What's 17 and 8? These 2 kids, they're very different ages. I as what they might be interested in, you know, give me all your tradition ideas. I think there's so many things you can do as far as Christmas lights, baking, a movie, a game night. It just has to be something y'all are interested in. Just to do a tradition for the sake that people are posting about traditions is stressful. It's just like keeping up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? So just something that y'all are interested in. And even if it's something that your kids don't want to do, if it means a lot to you that you go to the Nutcracker or that you go look at Christmas lights, your kids are 17 and 8, especially the 8-year-old. You say, get the hell in the car. Like, we're doing this. Do this for mom. Do this for dad. Do this for me. You know what I mean? Play the mom guilt. Like, especially like you said, before he goes away to college, for sure. Because trust me, it's so different. They come home. They've been away for months. I mean, it's just so different. Okay, let me get to Jet real quick. I have a quick dilemma. How do you host a tiny cocktail party for New Year's before and mix friends from work, school, and others into an intimate gathering like 6 people? Oh, I think that's easy because if it's only 6 total, then it's probably 1 or 2 from work, 1 or 2 from school, 1 or 2 from another place. Especially if that's great because that's a perfect conversation amount. Like, is it at a house? Is it at a restaurant? I think when you get to 8 or more people, especially at a restaurant, people get stuck in those conversations, but I think very intimate of like 6, you could easily play games, something, just find something that everyone would think is in common. My thoughts are, if you were friends with them all and you really like these people and think they are worthy of bringing in New Year's with, they are going to be respectful and of you, but they're probably going to like each other also. I have always been a huge proponent of my friends being friends. Now it gets a little tricky when it's like they start breaking off and doing stuff without you, but that's life. You know what I mean? People are going to get together and what have you, but good luck. I think it'll be great, and let us know how it is. Can't do that. At least 12. Get the bell in the car. Okay, let me see what these other ones were. I want the Chumpets help. This one confused me. Okay, I want the Chumpets help with how to change careers. I never married, so I always focused on my career, but now I want to focus on meeting someone in less time on my career. See, I was like, I didn't have time to email them back and say, do you want career or do you want a person? I probably will stay in healthcare administration, but want to find something less stressful. I've done the apps, but didn't find men who wanted a relationship, and I'm looking for a relationship. I think they're really more asking about a relationship. I do think if you put your career on the back burner, or at least don't keep trying to move up and up and up, or saying yes to travel, or yes to another project, or yes to weekends, that opens yourself up to the time and the possibility to have a relationship. So then you can say yes to that friend that says, you know what, I've got this guy I want you to meet, or get on the apps and say, hey, yeah, let's go for coffee on Saturday. You know what I mean? Tea with Tambo says, but please no pajama family pics. You know, when the whole family has the same set of PJs and stand in front of the tree. We kind of quit doing that, but my kids miss it, I will admit, because my mom used to buy them for them. Okay. This is the last one, because the first one I read was about the podcasting. And Lauren, if you truly have podcasting issues, I did email this person back, but ask me, because I really will. Just, hi, I've been listening to you for over a year, so love this advice idea, because I'm honestly tired of Bravo, and I'm one of the few that don't watch Sister Wives. You asked for ways this is right. You asked for ways we helped a bad situation during the holidays, and I gave myself a time to leave my brother's Christmas, and I think it helped because it often ends in an argument later in the night. So I think it's kind of like what happens after midnight, when you're driving. I think when too many people sit around each other that don't already love each other, or maybe have different philosophies or different what have you, I definitely feel like you can run out of good conversations, and it can get into uneasy conversations. So I love that this person said, you know what, we're going to get out by this time and leave on a high note. It's almost like, to me, a TV show, not just dragging on and on for the paycheck, but leave on a high note where everyone wants another season, but you just leave and you find that, you know what I mean? I love that. Anne says, find someone that likes to travel, especially if you're into that. That will work into a relationship. Yeah. I can't see what y'all are all saying. AUS says, Pepper may need a babysitter, a nanny, or a family assistant. I just feel like someone needs to know her and her history and her personality to be one step ahead of her. I think someone needs to be one step ahead of Pepper. You know what I mean? They need to really know her. So, anyways. Yeah, I think Eliza says, I think to Jet, I think playing some games can bring that small group together. And the good news is, Manny says, buy your lottery tickets, everyone, $1.2 billion. Okay, I'll tell my brother. He's not going to give me the money, my husband. Michael Riley says, I won $2 on Mega Millions. When's the drawing? Are those things on Saturdays? Oh, Utah doesn't do it. Oh, Candace. I'll send you $10 if I win. Y'all heard it here. I'll send Candace $10 if I win 1.2 billion with a B. Anyways. Okay, well, I will see y'all Monday. I think I'll go live next week. I really have to decide because it's just, I only have a few weeks here with my kids, so it's hard to listen to all the shows and what have you. But definitely on Fridays we will do the advice dilemmas. So send me anything at AskSarah, SARAH, from Texas @gmail.com. And I will see you tomorrow. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to comment along. Make sure you're subscribing to me everywhere at Sarah from Texas Podcast. Thank you. Bye, Chumpets.